Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of divine point of view, this door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout, woo! One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout, woo! One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One life loving as you and me. One life loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. All you got to do is call me. Come on, y'all. Call early in the morning, late in the evening. You can email me. You can even tweet me. And you can Facebook me. All you got to do is call me.
Now, that's the blessing called Eddie Watkins Jr., everybody. Next time, try it with a little bit more zazz, Eddie, can you?
Next time I will.
Just a little more. That's all we need. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, St. Augustine. What a wonderful day to be here. What a blessed day to be here. We come together to know something powerful for ourselves, to know something good for ourselves, to know something true for ourselves. That there's not a single problem that we're facing or we're ever going to face that we can't easily overcome by the power and the love of creativity of God flowing within us. So here today we come together to know something true and better for ourselves and each other. You know, I always ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that's to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? Whether for more love, more joy, more happiness, more prosperity. All those things in life that make us feel alive. Because that's what God is doing through you. It's what just doing it through me. It's showing up, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning. And Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, just one little announcement before we get going. I'm sure you're noticing that, we are back inside. Yes. Our plan is by June that we hope to be inside permanently. You may notice that we're getting things just a little rearranged here. We got Eddie up on stage. We was like, there's too much talent just to put off in the corner. We're going to get him up on stage. We're working on a little smaller stage for me out front because we want this place, we've had this challenge, and we want people to know we've met this challenge, and we're growing from this challenge, and we're better for this challenge, and we've got a bright light to shine out on the world. And so we're hoping that you're going to be with us, supporting us, encouraging us as we do that for you, because a better day is on the way. All right, to get us going this morning, let's get Jim Saul up to do a treatment for us. Come on up, Jim.
Let's see if I can get it off my hearing aid here. Good morning, good morning. I feel shorter. One of the things I was thinking this week, and one of the things that I really loved from a year ago is morning meditation. We used to have a 15-minute morning meditation when we would just be still. And that was something that I really loved. It was usually a guided meditation, and I'd babble a little bit through the quiet. But let's just take a minute or two and maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath. and be fully right here. And breathe. And be conscious of the breath. We can be conscious of the external sounds and the internal breath and the chair that we sit in and our thoughts if they ramble on, and actually be the observer of all that is occurring around you. All the sensations, the siren, the hum of the organ, and just be content with observing all of it from a safe place, from a place that cannot be harmed, from a place that is filled with contentment and beauty, and just breathe. I almost always have this to be a prelude to my prayer work, because it helps me to focus on being present and conscious from that safe place. So let's go into our prayer and know with me that there is one divine intelligence, and it's right here with us. It's sharing the space with us this morning. And I would recommend that you take time to feel it. One of my teachers said, if you think and you feel, trust the feeling, because it won't lie to you. And know with me that this divine intelligence is going to help this center come back together in a way that is even more productive, more prosperous, more in helping people find their divine intelligence within them. And like Eddie said, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Muslim or Hindu, our door is open and our hearts are open. And that makes a welcoming space that people gravitate to. And I know that this is a divine idea, this center, this spiritual understanding that we have here. And it helps each and every one of us to be that contentment that is so powerful. So I give thanks this morning to each and every person that has braved the weather to come to this center this morning. And I'm sure that we will benefit from our experience here this morning. I give thanks for this divine intelligence that's always here, and I give thanks for this center, for it has been here for 35 years, 36, maybe 7? And I give thanks for the quiet, because what the quiet does is it gives us space to act within it, to speak, to play music, to dance. Emptiness is a gift that gives us space. So I'm grateful for all of this morning, and I can release this prayer to be so simply and easily by saying, and so it is. And thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Eddie, bless us with a song.
All right. Oh, yeah. I feel like singing this song. It's called All Our Needs Are Met. All our needs are met. You know, that is funny. A little side note to that. The song is called All Our Needs Are Met. But I've had 2 kids come up to me on 2 different occasions after I did this song. And they said, one kid said, "Why do you need a mint?" And then on another occasion, a kid came up to say, "Who's Annette?" So, all our needs are met. Here we go. Sometimes I forget that all my needs are met. Now and then I fall asleep thinking things I don't believe until I wake up in gratefulness, counting all the ways I'm blessed, that all my needs are met. There were times I recall when I couldn't see the light of day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. And that is why I testify, no matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. I could not have come this far without the everlasting arms, my shelter from the cold. I'm so grateful that I know, 'cause there were times when I thought I couldn't make it through another day, but somehow sweet spirit made a way out of no way. I saw the light, I testify, no matter how dark it gets, that all our needs are met. I could not have come this far without the everlasting arms, my shelter from the cold. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Y'all hear me this morning? I'm so grateful that I know, 'cause there were times when I thought I couldn't make it through another day, but somehow sweet, sweet spirit made a way out of no way. And that is why I testify, no matter how dark it gets. I said no matter how dark it gets, don't you know that all our needs are met. All our needs are met. Amen.
Hey! Hey! Oh,
Hallelujah.
thank you, Eddie. Wow. Yes, indeed. All our needs are met. Make a way out of no way. Like the little story about the little guy asking you about a mint. I had a friend, he was a Catholic school, little Catholic school boy. He went through the 3rd grade. He says he finally asked one of the nuns in class, "What's all this talk about a holy toast?" He didn't ask that a second time. So today we're on, I think it's chapter 8, the power of thought, the power of thought. You know, we are really in an amazing time in our lives and in the whole scheme of history. We are in a time and a period that doesn't often come in history or in our individual lives. And we're in a place, a sacred place actually, where we can remake ourselves. We can reinvent ourselves. We get to turn a new chapter in our lives, to write the best part of ourselves, to breathe life into the best part of ourselves, to imagine a bright day with God's possibilities. So we want to proclaim God's possibilities as our own, for more love, for more joy, to envision a world which outpictures Spirit's best desires for us. And we do that by choosing to know ourselves, by embodying those best desires, by becoming it, by seeing it in those around us. If we will make those choices to be it, to embody it, to see it in those around us, the universe will make the choice for us. We make the choice first. Now, I know that as we go through these challenges, there are things we see around that makes that hard. It makes it hard to see where Spirit can be in events. I had a cousin call me up this week, and she was very upset. That's what happens to my relatives all think I'm kooky, but when they get in trouble, they call me. And she called me because she was very upset about the little 10-year-old boy who had been left in the desert, abandoned in the desert. And she asked me, she says, where is God in that? She says, what kind of human would abandon a 10-year-old boy in the desert on his own? She says, where do you see love in that? And it's hard to see love in that. This 10-year-old child left out there on his own. When the officer found him, he said he was shaking with fear, worried that he was going to be robbed or kidnapped. And we actually found out that both those things had happened to him. So it's not easy looking at that and knowing something better. Sometimes, to know something better, we have to step out in faith. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he said, you got to look a thing square in the face and know it for what it is. Call it out, not to turn from it, and to know something better, to call out something better. Because you see, it's easy to get angry. It's easy to get upset. But when you get angry and upset, you're only going to put more energy into anger and upset. And we got enough of that already as it is. We don't need any more. So what we can do is to put our energy into Spirit's possibility. We can choose to see the good. And that officer who saw that young man and decided to reach out for him for help, we can see the good in that. And we can see the good when he was comforting him, getting him water. We can see the good that he was taping that little boy and getting the message out that this kind of thing is happening and help is needed. We can see the good in his family already reaching out to him and saying, no, we're here. We want this little boy. We're going to help him. And then as people of faith, we're called to do more. You see, what the scripture says, when you've been given more, you got to do more. And as people that we know that prayer works, we're called to put our prayer into action. It's called a prayer practice. So we can set the intelligence of the universe to motion, seeing that little boy cared for, seeing him giving comfort, seeing him giving opportunities. We can do our part. You see, we don't have to solve all the world's problems. That's not what we're here to do. But we're here to turn those over to God who can solve all the world's problems. When we know something better, when we choose to step out of anger and turmoil, when we choose to step up to love, when we choose to know our better possibilities. Aristotle wrote, we get what we expect. We get what we expect. And I've said, I don't know who wrote this. They said, you don't get what you hope for. You don't get what you dream for. Sometimes you don't even get what you pray for. You get what you think you deserve. You get what you think you deserve. And so our purpose is to raise our expectations. And just say, just by the mere fact, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. I deserve great good. I deserve all the good things that life has to offer, the love, the joy, the happiness. We deserve wonderful friends who remind us to laugh and to play. We deserve to have little ones around us who remind us of the magic of life. We deserve to be loved, and we deserve to be loving. We need both of them, and it's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask of life. Now, it's not that you're going to enjoy every single moment of life. There are going to be some tough times. There are going to be some challenging times. And those moments, they require our faith to know something better. But even in that, I got a little disco action going on here. But even in those moments, even when it's tough time, there is embedded in those tough times a blessing. If we will hold the high watch, hold the high watch. I love a story, Robert Fulghum. He was, I think, a Unity minister. He might have been an Episcopal minister. He wrote a couple of books. Everything I ever needed to know, I learned in kindergarten. He tells this story. He was a minister. He'd gone to do the grocery shopping on a Monday. He gets out to the store. He turns the aisle of the grocery store. There in the middle of the aisle, he sees a situation unfolding. It's a member of his congregation, a young dad. He's there with his little 6-year-old boy. The little 6-year-old boy has pulled down a canned display of pork and beans, and they're all over. He snapped at the little boy, and when he snapped at the little boy dissolved in tears. So here this guy's got a little guy having a meltdown. He's got cans of beans all around him. He's trying to comfort the little boy. He's just getting more and more upset. And eventually, the little boy just throws up all over everything. Fulghum said at that point he turned the basket around and decided to go do shopping at Piggly Wiggly that morning. Now, 35 years later, he says he's out raking the yard. And he says he sees two guys running down the street jogging. He says when they get close to him, he sees it's the what was a little boy who's now a young man, and who was the dad is now an older man. And he says as they're coming towards him, they step off the curb, and he says he sees the young man, without letting his dad know, look around to make sure that they're stepping in safety. That was the seed of love that was embedded in what I'm sure the dad thought was one of the worst days of his life. And we have that for every tragedy. What we think is tragedy, what we think is heartbreak, has a seed of love in it. Dr. Holmes, he says what we are and what we're becoming depends upon what we're thinking. And do we think the best of ourselves? Do we see ourselves as our Creator sees us? He said we don't need a greater power, we need a greater idea. We need a better idea about ourselves, each other, and about the universe. And the fundamental question we have to ask ourselves, is God for us? Is God loving and kind? Is the universe a loving place? It is a place that wishes to know the best for us, to see the best in us, to have us live up to our fullest potential. Is that what God is? Or is God an angry, judgmental, old man deity just waiting to get its hands on us, to fry us for eternity like a piece of bacon? Just because of something we did in Mama's Gremlin behind the school gym, playing Hotel California on the 8-track. Now, if you don't know what an 8-track is, good for you. Good for you. They were about as worthless as the GMC Gremlin was. Not a great product. Now, which of those ideas offends your intelligence less? Which of those ideas really makes more sense to you? An angry, judgmental deity, or a loving and kind deity? Something that's wanting to support life, encourage life, bring the best of life to fruition. For me, of course, it's a loving and kind Creator. And I'm called to look for it and to identify with it, to look for it and say, that's me. I've been created from that. That energy is flowing through me. It's calling to me to know something better for myself. This past week, I've been looking out on our backyard, and the amaryllises are in full bloom. And the knockout roses, well, they're knocking it out. I mean, they're spectacular. We have 2 little birds who have found our bird house, and they're now working as hard as they can, and they're making a nest there. And you look at that and you say, this is something I can relate to. This is a power that's in me, and I can use it. I can support my greater good with this energy. We have a teenager who lives 2 doors down from us, and he plays basketball outside by himself at least 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. One of the neighbors wants to complain about the noise. When I take the 2 little dogs we have for a walk, actually they don't walk anymore, they stroll more than they walk because they're kind of getting up there. And I get around to him, and he will stop, and he wants to pet one of them that will let him. The other one is trying to rip the flesh off his ankles, but I stop and I let him pet the civilized one. And as I'll talk to him, and I tell him, I said, your dedication to this, your commitment to this is going to really do you well. Now, of course, he wants to be a professional basketball player. He's a teenager. That's what he wants. And he may very well be a basketball player. But his commitment to something, and knowing that commitment and drive is going to improve him, that's going to do him good whatever he goes into. Whatever he goes into. And my looking for it and encouraging it is going to help him, and it's going to help me. It helps me a lot more than just staying at home watching Wheel of Fortune and complaining about the noise of a basketball being dribbled on a pavement. We get to choose. Which are we going to do? Are we going to get in the flow of life? Are we going to support it? Are we going to be handmaids to the miracle that Spirit is wanting to birth through me and through you? This is our choice, and we can make it, and it will serve us well. So it's not that we're just looking for Spirit. We're getting in the middle of it. Dr. Holmes says the physical universe is Spirit in form, and that we need to actively pursue greater thoughts, a higher good, and to move them out into the world, to make the best of where we are. And this is our challenge, to be the best that we can be, and to take what we are and to raise it to a spirit level, raise it to a God level. Dr. Holmes says, take the highest thought we have and enlarge it in consciousness until it embraces a more vital concept of reality. What he's saying is that we should take the best idea we have for ourselves and breathe Spirit's life into it, to bring more love and joy and happiness to those around us, to unify ourselves with universal good, and to know that we are a part of it. It is a part of us. It is flowing through us. It is calling us forth to a better knowing for ourselves, to a new world, a new heaven and a new earth. It's ours to do. Now, just to know that just a little bit of compassion can change the world. A little bit can make a whole huge difference in people's lives around you. I heard another wonderful story this week. It was about an older guy. He's living in Philadelphia. He lost his wife a couple of years ago. And so now for him, his weekly excursion is to go out to the grocery store and the pharmacy. And he says with his driving skills now, that it's just come a real challenge for him to make this excursion each week. And he says he's really very, very careful and cautious. The other couple of weeks ago, he got out. He had got his supplies. He was coming back in. He got the car parked, put the safety on, opened the door up. And when he opened the door up, a young boy on a bicycle slammed right into his door. He said his heart almost stopped. He said when he recovered, caught his breath, he went and asked the young man, are you okay? The young guy, he's a teenager, he bounced off the pavement, he was fine. And his thing was, I'm so sorry, mister. He says, my bike is a hand-me-down. And he says, I don't have really good brakes on it. And he says, I can't stop suddenly. The old guy says, give me your address. And a week or so later, he shows up at the boy's address with a new bike. Now you see, we don't know what good that's going to do. For that older guy, he was giving up on life. But life had more for him to give. When by him seeing a need that he could fulfill, life pulled him out of a shell he was closing in on. It pulled him out of a tomb he was ready to roll a stone over. And we don't know what he's going to go on to do. And we don't know the good that young man's going to do in the world. We don't know where that bike is going to carry him. And even more importantly, we don't know where that vote of confidence is going to carry him. We don't know how much good is going to happen about this. One desire to change a life can change the world. Dr. Holman says we need to dare to fling our thoughts of love and joy and compassion into universal intelligence. Fling them into universal intelligence. He says we're going to find ever-increasing good at hand. He says we're not on this journey alone. We have this power, and we are not going to outgive God. We are not going to outlove God. We're going to find as we give and as we love and we support and we give out compassion, more is available to us. This is what the story of with the widow with the oil. Elijah needed oil, and she poured out what oil she had for him. The oil ran from that point on. You're not going to outgive God. You're not going to outlove God. There's always going to be more supply. Don't be worried about an empty vessel. God's going to supply us. God's going to meet our needs. When we're loving, we're compassionate, we're kind. When we're out making the world a better place. When we're out doing what God has called us to do. And we have come from love and we're going to love. We haven't come from God just to live a life of dread and disease and ill. We have a power within us greater than any problem we're going to ever confront. A power that can overcome every obstacle and set us free and safe and happy and supplied, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new love. If God is for us, then who can be against us? There's a new day dawning. There's a new chapter we're writing, and we're here to know it for ourselves, to know ourselves as God knows us, strong and powerful, loving and healthy, prosperous. Spirit has called us by name that we be here in this moment, at this time, not on bended knees, begging and pleading, but standing upright, announcing our good, announcing our joy, announcing our love and compassion, to sing the glory of God and bring about a new heaven, a new earth, a new day, and a new possibility. It's within every one of us this morning, and it's the truth in your life. It's the truth of mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Eddie, come on up.
Well, there's only one song I can do behind that. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes. We're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone. We are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
All right, so let's put the wisdom and the emotion of Eddie's wonderful song, let's put that to power in our lives. And we're going to do that through affirmative prayer. I'm going to say this prayer in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, well, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. Here today in this sacred place and in this sacred time, I'm now choosing to know something powerful for myself, something good for myself. I'm choosing to know that I have a power and goodness of God flowing through me, and that here today I have the power to make a world that works for everyone. A world where the fields will bloom forth in compassion, where the deserts will bloom and glory of God will be made manifest right before our eyes. Here today, I know that God has sent me to be here, to be strong, to be victorious. I've come too far and I'm not turning around now. I'm not turning back. I'm not choosing to see myself as a victim or wounded. I'm choosing to know myself as God knows me. Powerful, bold, dynamic, loving, and compassion. God has called me forth, and this morning I am saying yes. Yes to the glory of God. Yes to its love, its joy, its happiness. Yes to a new day. Yes to a new earth, a new heaven. Here today, a new Jerusalem. This is what God is calling me to do, and a lamp has been lit before my feet, and I am on the move. It's the truth in my life. I celebrate it. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Your life is not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. This is Reverend Ken. Until we see each other again, many blessings.
God be with you. Thank you. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. It feels good to be in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love. Infinite blessings to you all. Thank you so much. See you next week.